Hello, women of welcome. I'm Sarah Quezada, and I thought I would do this live in our private Facebook group today because there's, hi, women of welcome. I thought I was already live, so I'd already started, so now I'm starting again. I'm so glad to be with you today in our private group. I decided to go live because there's just something wonderful about the adrenaline of knowing your children could burst in at any moment when you're doing a video. To answer some questions around DACA, I want to do a series this month. We've done a few videos on DACA, and if you want to see them, we have those here in our private group on Facebook, as well as some on Instagram and YouTube. But they're a little bit longer, so we wanted to break them up into a series to focus on specific questions around the DACA program. And today's is about what is the Supreme Court making a decision on regarding DACA. So some of you may know that we are currently waiting to hear the Supreme Court's decision related to DACA, which stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. And oral arguments were heard a few months ago, and a decision is expected in May or June of this year. And so we're waiting to hear what they decide. Essentially, what is happening with the court cases is DACA was instated by executive order, and it allowed for temporary protection for children who had been brought to the U.S. when they were young, and it protected them from being deported. And the Trump administration decided to cancel DACA, and it went through the lower court system. It's had 3 court cases where the courts upheld that the president could not cancel DACA based on the premise that it is unlawful. So the courts found that the program was lawful, and so the president couldn't cancel it, saying it was unlawful. And so that has accelerated all the way to the Supreme Court. And so what we're waiting on now is a decision from the Supreme Court about whether or not the Trump administration can cancel DACA. If they are not allowed to cancel DACA, then that will keep those protections in place. But I do want to be clear that those are still temporary protections, and there's a lot of limitations of what DACA recipients can participate in. And so there is still a need for congressional legislative action related to this population of people who came when they were younger and have grown up in the United States. If the Supreme Court rules that the Trump administration can cancel DACA, then that would effectively end that program and could make potentially up to 700,000 people deportable who have been living and working and going to school legally under DACA for the last several years. And so that would also require legislative intervention. And so 2 different court results, same requirement that we need legislative solution. But as you can imagine, waiting on this decision is extremely anxiety producing for DACA recipients who have been waiting for years to find out if they'll be able to adjust their status. I've been thinking a lot about this population in the midst of COVID because I am a planner and I like to plan, and it's very hard in this particular season in our country and around the world, really, for people to be able to make a plan as we're all navigating coronavirus. And I've been thinking a lot about dreamers and the anxiety that that produces when you're waiting in limbo for such a long time. So it's a quick update on what the court is currently weighing, and we will keep you updated when a decision is released from the Supreme Court.